Hey guys, welcome back. So been a crazy week for me here. The beginning of the week we had a huge storm, about 30 inches of snow, which isn't too uncommon for this area, although we haven't seen it in the last few years anyhow. What I'm going to do today is I'm getting prepared to start installing the SIP panels. I'm going to start with the back here, the lean-to, where the kitchen's going to be. So I'm going to start off with getting the sill plates laid down for these panels, and then I want to get the whole lean-to back part here shelled in, and then that way I figure I can come with the tractor and put the panels up on the lean-to to bring them up to the main part, and I'm going to work my way forward with the SIP panels. So I got a ton going on. The building inspector said I can start enclosing the frame, so frame is good to go. There's going to be some little things here and there I'm going to touch up as I go, but it did pass, and we're ready to start getting this shelled in. So crazy week, lots and lots of snow removal, cleanup, and now I'm just getting prepared to get this lean-to shelled in. So gonna get the sill plates down, put the tongue and groove roof sheathing up, and then I can start with the wall panels, then the roof panels, and then just continue on with the process. In case you guys are new to the channel, my name is Dave. I started this project off from scratch, starting with raw land here in the woods and the mountains, cleared it myself, and now starting off with the house build. This is actually a barn kit that we found. It ended up being nearby us. It's a whole kit to make a barn that we're converting into a house. But in order to meet the insulation code requirements in our area, the insulation has to be on the exterior of the frame, which is not included. But we're using SIP panels, which stands for structural insulated panel, and we're not using the traditional OSB style. We're using Raycor SIPs, and the OSB or plywood is added on to the exterior after that. Those are installed. But this video is about starting off with lean-to, coming up with my preferred way to install these panels and getting used to them, and then working my way into the main frame. So we're going to start off with that. Eventually I'll have other videos to come, my reviews, opinion on the panels probably, and cool videos also. So hope you guys enjoy. Alright, so this is what I got in the back lean-to done so far. I got this whole back wall, the panels done in that corner, and then I got some of the roof sheathing done too. It's 1x6 boards, so it takes a while to get them all cut and laid out across and nailed in. So I didn't film really for this back wall because it's of course my first time building with these panels, and I'm not a builder either, so I tried a couple different ways to do the window rough openings. We'll come around over here just to see which way I preferred. And so the first one, we actually just cut the opening through the panels and framed out the window, which it worked all right, but not perfect. And then the second one, I actually I kind of did I don't know, I think you call them the king studs, and then framed out the window and then cut the panels to fit in, which is kind of a mix of how they show you how to do it. But since this is a post and beam frame, the instructions that Raycor has weren't exactly what we had to do, so I kind of did a combo on that, and I like how that came out better, framing out the window kind of almost like stick framing, and then cutting the panels and fitting them in there. That I think that worked out best. So moving forward, that's what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna have to anyway, because this is the shortest wall height, and as we move forward, of course the ends here get a lot taller, and then the front wall is also taller. So yeah, really I wasn't filming, like I said, because I had no clue what I was doing, but everything came out pretty good. I'm happy with it so far, and now that we got rolling with this, I'll probably start filming some of the stuff that's getting done. But look at the size of this circular saw here, 16-inch beam cutting saw that I used to cut the panels. So it's an old Makita from the 80s that our friend's letting us borrow, which is awesome. And so we'll definitely have some video clips with that in it, and installing the panels. I pre-drilled the holes, put the structural screws through into the frame, and yeah, so moving forward, I'm gonna have videos on this, but this was just a test run. Happy with how it's coming out, and next I'm gonna have to make sure all these joints are sealed up fully. There's already construction adhesive between them, but I'm gonna go back through and make sure they're all sealed up good, and then you actually tape each seam, roll it, and then OSB and everything goes on the outside. Alright guys, so today's mission is to get more of the roof boards up. Before I do that, I've been taking down the edges of the roof boards because they come in the kit with these really sharp square edges, which won't really look good, I don't think. And also the carpenter that helped set up the main frame the day that we did that recommended that we use this little scraper tool. Comes in handy to take down the edges. So I started doing that, but for today I got my angle grinder set up with my sandpaper grinding disc to help save time and effort, because I'm going to need a lot of energy for the SIP panels. So I'm going to sand down a lot of these edges. It'll make them look more natural and rustic, and I just think it looks a lot better. So let's get grinding these edges off, and then I'm going to hop up there and install. But let's take a look how they look afterwards. So this is how it looks originally, with just a really sharp edge. Makes a really straight line, and then we're going to grind off the edges and hopefully make it look a lot more natural. So let's get going on this. This is my neighbor Brian. He comes over from time to time to help me out, and then I help him out as well. But he's starting to show up more now that I'm starting to work on the house, and he actually also just retired from being a truck driver, so probably see him more often. So thanks, Brian. what we got done over here last night. Installed this panel to complete the rough opening and started installing a top plate to get set up to finish the angles. So today's plan is I'm going to finish doing the angle up top to this side, finish the other side because I still have a little bit of work to do there, get the rest of the top plates installed, then start working on the roof panels at some point after. So that's the plan. I went this morning and stopped by the store and I grabbed an actual respirator where I can change the filters, and I grabbed a set of goggles that are going to seal off to my face, and they're impact resistant and everything too. So because I don't know if you saw before, but cutting with this big 16-inch circular saw the panels, the dust from these panels was just terrible. It was making it so it wasn't even worth it to me. I had a mask on and I had safety glasses on, but the dust was just blowing right behind the goggles or the glasses, and I just couldn't see right away. It was terrible on my eyes, and then I didn't even feel comfortable breathing even with a mask on because I knew how bad these were. So once I start continuing on to the main frame, I'm going to try to rig something up to set my shop vac to suck the dust, but at least this will make me feel more comfortable breathing, and I can change the filters, and then these goggles will really seal off my eyes, so hopefully none of that dust gets back there. But yeah, so let's get going on this. I'm going to work on these top angles and just keep going. So let's get going, guys. Alright, so I'm using this little piece of 2x4 to represent the top plate that's going to sit up. So there's going to be another bead of foam filler here to use as a sealant for the air barrier. So then that's going to sit on top. It's going to go up the side, the rake edge of the roof, and then another layer of foam, and then the roof panels are going to sit on top, get screwed into the outside. So I'm using this as a spacer, make sure I have enough room to put the top plate and still have the clearance and be right in spec there. So good to go. So much better wearing this mask and goggles. Highly recommend. Always make sure you have the proper PPE because this is just so much better. I don't feel like I'm gonna die after I'm building this house from breathing in all the particles. So fantastic. Alright, so I'm about to drill out the screw holes in this panel. So these studs are 16 on center, so I have to measure and match up where each screw is going to go with the frame layout. So I measure and then mark on the panel, drill them out, and then seal off with the foam sealer, and then install the panel. I'm using these 6-inch timber screws, really work well. So like I said, I pre-drill in the panel and then get it up and fasten it to the frame. So let's get going on that. Hey, welcome back everybody. So yesterday evening I didn't film it, but I finished off this side with its top plate up there going up the roof line, and then also the day before I got the top plate across the whole rear here. And then last night also I finished doing the rest of the roof boards, which are under the tarp so you can't see them, and I rolled out the last layer of ice and water shield for what I got up there. So the lean-to is just about getting ready for the roof panels. I'm gonna come over to the utility room side today, and I got an angle piece I'm about to get fitted for up there, and then finish off this side with its top plate. So that's today's goal for after work, is getting that missing angle piece filled in up there, get the top plate done, Then I'm probably gonna go around maybe getting the seams all sealed up and taped up, and then hopefully tomorrow I'm gonna start doing the roof panels. So before I can put the roof panels on, they called to put a vapor barrier on top of those roof boards, and that will be below the roof panels. So you can do different types of vapor barriers. I was going to do originally plastic sheeting, but I changed to doing I'm going to do a ice and water underlayment, and what it will do is it'll act as a vapor barrier. Then I'll be able to walk on it easily, which I wouldn't if I put plastic sheeting down. It'd be very slippery, and also is that it'll act as a temporary roof. Alright, so we're back up here doing roof panels. When I say we, I mean me. But basically what I'm doing is I got to lay out the screws onto the panel down there. So I have all the rafters marked out, snapped lines. Again, this ice and water shield is underneath the panels because they recommend you put in a vapor barrier. So in order for me to be able to walk on it, and it was a temporary roof, I put this ice and water shield over the roof board. So I had to snap the lines where the rafters are for each one. Now basically I'm going to measure out and just make sure that I drill these screws spot on, because if I'm off by a hair, I'll miss the rafter and it can crack it or come out the side, and it'll look like a mess. So I really have to be very accurate with these holes for the screws. So I'm gonna just mark out where the 8-foot is for the panel. So this panel is gonna end right around here. I'll mark out down here so I know where to stop with the foam. So that's where the panel is going to end. Now just to get a ballpark where the hole is going to be, 24 3/4 right there. Here's another rafter, 24 3/4. 24 3/4, and this will be the last rafter that we hit. As you can see, the studs on these panels are 24 on center. These are 2x8s, so they're 7¼ inch thick roof panels, and then these rafters are 24 on center. So I got to match up, hit those rafters to hit these rafters. So it really, you know, they're supposed to be all 24 on center, but I like to go off these measurements, like I said, just to make them exact. So let's get these measured out. So 12¼ got 36 1/8. Sixty and an eighth. And then (84 1/4). These measurements are always usually basically the same, but sometimes they're an eighth off or so. So I really want to make sure that I don't mess these holes up. So I measure each one. So now I'm going to do the one for the bottom, get this area cleared up and cleaned up, and then get it foamed and ready to set the panel after I get that prepped. So let's get going on that. any panel here. One of the problems with these panels is the sun reflects right off of them and it shines right on you, and you can literally feel like yourself getting a sunburn. So if I look funny with the hat and sunscreen, that is why. So you gotta make sure you protect yourself and everything. And also, the reason why I'm wearing shoes, my sneakers today, is because if I have to walk on the panels, they're nice and soft on the panels, unlike my boots where you'll start putting dents in them. So that's the reason why I'm not wearing work boots, if you're wondering. So that's one of the things that's really difficult with this, is to freehand with this long of a drill bit to go through an 8-inch panel. There's a lot of room for error going off to either side, or if you don't go through the studs and these perfect and come out. So I have ordered basically a kit to make this into a mini drill press, so I can place it flat on the panel and then it'll slide up and down, and I'll be able to drill perfectly vertical holes through the panels. So hopefully this is one of the last few that I'm going to be doing freehand. Once that kit comes in, I'll have to show it to you guys, but that's one of the things Raycor, the panel company, doesn't talk about. They say how quick and easy these panels are, but there's just so many things that go along with it that it really isn't too quick and too easy, unless if you have the little tools to do it, which they don't show any of that stuff. So learning as I go. Again, I'm not a builder, especially panels are new to me like this, so and these aren't too common of a panels, so not too much information on them, but learning as I go. So the lean-to is basically like a test, but it's coming out good, and then I'm gonna do keep all these changes that I'm doing onto the main part of the building, the home. So let's get this ready to go up on the roof and get it installed. this is where the sneakers come in handy. I'm not damaging the panels while I'm walking on them. And I always leave the tractor parked behind as a platform just in case if anything falls. As you guys can see, panel, or if I need to go onto it, it works in really good handy. Just to have back there. Alright, now we're going to get ready to foam this. Alright, so that's that. Alright, so she's all foamed up. I'm gonna get her ready to be in position, so get her over here. Alright, here she is. This one has a little bit of a curve to it, it seems. The edge looks nice and tight. This edge is nice and tight. So that's the first one. I'm going to check the rafter just to make sure how it looks. Make sure we're on the mark before we start hammering these things down. Alright,
Alright, so I'm just gonna snug these ones down for now. I got a pre-drill a little ways into each one. Let me just check that rafter one more time. Alright. Alright. Well, that one was on with his measurements, so that's great. Alright, check this rafter. A lot of times my neighbor Brian will be down here checking the rafters as I go, just to make sure. He'll be showing up a little later though, so I'm doing this one by myself for right now. Check this one. Good and good. I'm screwing in. How's it look? Still? I'm gonna do the one next to it now.
There's been a ton of rain lately, which has created a huge mission for me keeping the materials protected and the house frame and the installed panels as protected as possible. The instructions do call for you covering the panels from the sunlight and rain as best as possible. But at this time, my main goal is to not have any water get underneath those roof panels and get trapped between the panel and the roof boards below it, and keeping it moist in there. So I'm really taking the extra time and effort to cover and uncover as I work and just really keep it protected as possible. But it is a huge mission, takes a lot more time, a lot more effort, which will be worth it in the long run. But hopefully the rain starts to slow down so I don't have to worry about it as much.
Alright guys, welcome back. Finally have some nice weather. I mean, geez, it was like almost a couple weeks worth of rain, it seemed like. I'm getting ready to get the OSB installed. I'm taping all the seams on this back lean-to wall. Before I'm doing that, I'm actually switching out the SIP screws that I'm using. So originally I started using these headlock from Home Depot, which in certain applications probably works really well, but in this timber frame application, the threads on these screws just aren't going in too well and holding in. So I actually found these Simpson Strong Tie 6-inch timber screw. Works so much better for this. It actually says timber screw. The headlock, maybe it's more for dimensional lumber like 2x4s, 2x6s, 2x8s, but for the timber frame, these threads on the headlocks just aren't biting and grabbing in well enough, and I actually had quite a few that they stripped out so they wouldn't set in. So just for comparison here, here's the I don't know if that's a good background. Let me see. This is the Simpson screw. It's also got a nice flat head with locks on the back of it. I don't know all the technical names here, but here it is compared to the headlock screw. So you can see threads much larger. They also go further into the screw with a much stronger head. Really holds well. So originally I got the headlock because I saw them at Home Depot. They were the right length, and they're structural and they looked like they'd work well, but good thing I didn't order too many of them, because after using them I wasn't too satisfied. Then I found the Simpson ones and ended up using them. Love them so far. I'll even put them into a hole where the headlock screws were that stripped out and I couldn't get the headlock to tighten anymore. I'll put the Simpson in there and the thing will crank right in, pull right in and down. So I know they work really well. So right now that is what I'm doing. You can see I just took one screw out right here, but this is what I mean. I can't get like this one stripped out. The head won't sink in any further into the panel. It won't sit flush. So when I go to put the OSB over it, that will be keeping it off, which I don't think be a huge issue, but I really want these to hold well. It'll make me feel a lot better. So I started doing most of the wall already, but I'm finishing up now. Gonna tape the seams and then start getting the OSB. But here's an example how those Simpsons, they suck right in nice and tight. So nice and flush. That's the way it should be, and they bite hard.
So last night got that top, I don't know if you'd call it a rim joist, what you would call it, but it creates the overhang. It's the ends of the panel. It's a 2x8 16 footer, and cut the angle for the overhang. That was a mission to get that on. The first time we had it, it wasn't sitting flat, so we had to flip it, recut the angle, and then it ended up sitting flat, so had to do some fiddling with it. But so that got set last night. Also got the other end on the day before, all off camera, because it was a little hectic and I never done it myself. So this is all new to me, working with these panels and building, as I keep saying. So got both ends on and today, and we're gonna do build the overhangs on the eave here. So I got the top put on, and we're gonna build off those, and then you build the triangle on the bottom back to the wall. So we're gonna run a string line across from those two overhangs that we started on the ends, build the eave overhangs, and just keep ripping with it. So So the carpenter and I got this rear eave overhang built. This is on the lean-to still, so we got that one done. And then at the rake edge, I believe you would call it, we got this one done as well. Still have to put OSB on this wall, but we hung down the wall wrap, so I can overlap that over the OSB once I get it installed. But yeah, so we got the overhangs done over here. He's on his way over this morning, and we're gonna work on this other rake edge overhang. So I was just getting some of the joints sealed up, taped up, get the Tyvek back down on this side, and then he's gonna be here, and we're gonna build this overhang. And then after that's done, we'll be able to put the roof sheathing on the lean-to. Then I'm gonna put the snow and ice down, so that way this thing is weathered in kinda, and we're gonna start working our way up. So I'm gonna get going on this this end over here. So that wraps up this rear lean-to part of the house for now. All the panels are done. The roof deck is complete with ice and water shield on there. Keeping a tarp covering it for now because I can tell the main frame is going to take me quite some time to complete, and I just want to keep everything protected from the UV rays and just the weather, the rain, as best as possible. So that way, once I finish the entire house, this rear part is not weathered or anything ruined. So going to keep it covered. I have a cool piece of equipment coming to help me with this main frame, so stay tuned for that. And if you guys haven't checked out some of my older videos, please do that, because I have some cool videos from doing the land clearing all the way up until this point, and gonna keep heading forward with them. So can't wait to catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.